I am your content creator now. Hi guys, Bran here, and today we're talking about another wonderful DBD topic with our wonderful commentary videos. So here we go. So today, I posed the question to my Twitter. Why do you think that DBD doesn't make big shakeups to its meta? Most games do regular sweeps and change most of the game, even if some changes are minor, whereas DBD makes changes to one character, or a handful of perks at most. Why do you think this is? So, TLDR, if you didn't read along with me, most games that I have been a part of, because I've played a lot of competitive games over my life as a person. Competitive games because I like education and challenge. It's kind of like why I like video games. So like obviously competitive games breed a lot of that. Black Ops 2, Dota, multiple Street Fighter games, like I've played a lot of games. And most of these games, they make more sweeping, long changes that affect almost every character in the game. Usually, let's take Street Fighter for example. Like Street Fighter patches affect everybody, so they'll identify like 5 problem characters. Either they're overpowered or they're underpowered, and they'll make a ton of changes. Like the change log will be like a page long to like those characters. But they don't just like leave the rest of the roster unchanged. Even if it's like small quality of life stuff, they'll change other characters. So like a character could have a move that was like, the community's like, man, I wish this move was slightly faster and this move would actually be helpful. They'll go down and they'll change that one move to be slightly faster, but that's like the only change that a character will have. So they'll change tiny things across the board for almost the entire game, but then have like focuses on like one or like 1 to 5 characters that are like problems for one reason or another, right? DBD doesn't really do this. DBD kind of like hard focuses on 1 or 2 characters or 3 perks and tries to like majorly change those, and they kind of leave everything else as it is, which leads to these wonderful situations where like the meta is essentially the same for like a year or more at a time because things don't really change dramatically that much. And I wanted to pose the question as to why that is. So you're going to be noticing a little bit of a trend over here as we consult our Twitter. Long response incoming. Honestly, I think it's fear. For games that have had meta shifts every major update since release, you don't see a lot of complaints. However, in a game like DBD, where the meta has rarely seen any meta shifts, the community at large complains when it does. I played Clash Royale actively for 3 years, and every 1 to 2 months the meta would completely change. Would be nice to see some variety in DBD. It's always Spirit, Nemesis, Ruin, Pop, Know It every game. People complain a lot as it is. Changing the meta for the first time will make people even more annoyed. I wish they had the mindset of if everything OP, then nothing is. It would lead to pure mayhem. I want to see how that would go. Instead of nerfing the current meta, I want them to buff stuff. So essentially, what you're seeing at large here is the sense of fear. And it's coming from multiple sides. It is both behavior and the community as well. So the behavior side of things is because I'm not trying to be negative, but we're calling a spade where we're calling things as they actually happen. When they update things ridiculously break. They just do. I'm not trying to be negative, I promise. But if we're looking just factually at what happens, things break when they change things. Every time they put a patch through, I'm always wondering, like, what's the new thing? What are the new bugs? What's new that's going to be broken? I'm always wondering that. Because that's just what happens. And it's not me trying to bag on them and be super negative. It's just what happens. They just break things when they try to do things. Even if they're like in the patches where they're trying to change like only like 2 or 3 perks, like there's always like a page or more of bugs that come out. So I can't imagine if they were trying to like, change the whole game. If they were trying to change, I can't imagine if they were trying to change the whole game, what they would do. High fines. I can't imagine what they do if they tried to like change the whole game, how many bugs there would be. And I think that's like a big deterrent for making like big sweeping changes. Even if a lot of perks in this game, and I do mean a lot is in most of the perks in the game, kind of need a quality of life change to really make them useful because they don't know what they're going to break. And that's a scary thing. But another big component is the fear of the community, which is mostly what's highlighted by my Twitter peepos, is that it's so sad because we covered in a previous video that only 15% of the community has even reached rank 10, and only 6% has even reached red ranks period. So these are the people that are unfortunately the most vocal. I mean, what am I doing right now? Only 4% of people have ever reached rank 1 killer. And here I am, you know, talking with a mouthpiece, you know. You know, I have a YouTube channel that I'm making commentary about the game with. So the people that are, you know, the highest up in the game tend to have a lot of, you know, vocal say. They're the ones on Twitter, they're the ones in the forums. And the unfortunate thing is that these people, you know, for the most part, want the game to stay the way it is. The 6,000-7,000 hour Andy. Hi, Fonz. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Right. Okay, you're almost knocking everything over. Please sit down. The 6-7 hour Andy. Look what you've done. The 6,000-7,000 hour Andy does not want to learn new ways to play the game. He wants the same stuff that he has done since 2016-17 to carry him through the rest of the game's life. Which I find incredibly ironic, because, like, theoretically, isn't that guy who is a veteran of Dead by Daylight the most equipped to handle big changes to the game? So, take a walk with me here. So, you're still a new player. You're still trying to learn the game. You're still, like, crouch walking around. You're still, like, immersed. You still, like, run away when you pop a gen, right? Like, you're still trying to figure out how the game works, and you're running, like, a slew of perks and, like, Iron Wills on there. And you're like, wow, when I'm injured, this one makes me quiet, and this is really helpful. And you're still trying to understand how the game works. And then they do a quality of life change, and suddenly Iron Will has a different effect. Literally the next day, while you're still trying to learn how to play the game as a whole, suddenly this perk does something completely different. And now you have to relearn that, and the way that perk works, on top of, like, everything else with the game that you're still trying to learn. And it's really, really overwhelming for that to happen. So you're like, what's going on? But, like, those aren't the people that are that complain and always don't want the perks to change. It's the 7,000 hour Andys who are already so good at the game that if they really wanted, and they do it often, just spread out on gens and win the game immediately. Like, these are the people that whine that they don't want the meta changes. Like, even though, like, if the perks change tomorrow, they're the most equipped to deal with this situation because they've been playing the game forever. Like, they have enough good fundamentals in the game because of their experience that a sweeping perk change would not bother them as much as it would somebody who's new to the game. But those are the guys crying and whining and complaining and being absolutely stupid about resisting change, and it just doesn't make sense to me. And, well, it does. It's just disappointing. Is that, like I said, they just want the same thing that they've done since 2016-17 to continue to sauce people with the same stupid tactics they've done forever. That way the game never changes, the game never evolves, and the game stays stale forever just so some 6,000-7,000 hour Andy can think that he's good at the game. Boo-boo. Yep, and that's, ladies and gentlemen, is why you don't tie your self-worth to video games. But hey, what can we do? But yeah, those two main reasons, TLDR, two main reasons why DBD doesn't really make those big sweeping changes is A, because it would break a lot of things, and that's scary, and B, veteran players, despite being the most equipped to deal with changes, don't like having changes because they like winning. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, friend, and spending time with me on this day. If you enjoyed this video, there is a way to like that, so you know, the thumbs up thing that's like down here somewhere, that'd be pretty cool. Or you can sub if you want to stick around for a while, you know, that's entirely up to you. But if I don't see you in the next YouTube video or in the Twitch zone, I will see you when I see you, friends. Have a good day. I appreciate you. Goodbye.